morning, everybody. Welcome to JNS Farms live stream. I will, as usual, give everybody probably another 4 or 5 minutes to get on here. See if we got anybody wanting to watch the show today. All right. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. We had a good time with friends and family. And yeah, so I hope everybody else's Thanksgiving went really well. So we had a beautiful frost this morning, and I did take some pictures of that this morning. So this is one of them. I did a little bit of editing to that photo, but anyway, I have a few pictures for you of that this morning. And I have a few updates for you. A couple of them are happy, and a couple of them are not so happy. So let's see. Anyway, so how is everybody doing? Is there anything exciting that happened with you guys this week that you want to chime in on for now until while we're waiting on people to get in here? Can everybody see me and hear me okay? Well, see the picture and hear me okay? I hope I'm not buffering too bad. I can't hardly tell with this computer sometimes. It likes to do its own thing, so anyway, let me know if you can hear me, and I'll take the picture down here in just a minute. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take the picture down. I just thought that would be a nice one to kind of segue in. You can hardly hear me. Okay, let me turn it up. Is that better, T. Teresa? That is good to hear about the pipeline. That is good news. Imre. Alright, you guys should be seeing me now. T. Teresa, I've got it turned all the way up. Excuse me. So, there we go. Alright, so it's 5 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Maybe a few more people will show up. It looks like it's just you two right now. So today's topic is going to be, hello Connie. Today's topic, I'm going to be talking about heritage livestock and kind of their role in history and what their role is today on a homestead. And it's something that I'm kind of passionate about because heritage livestock still have a purpose. And even though the industrial system has thrown them to the wayside, you know, people with smaller farms and people that really appreciate the breeds that are out there and all the different species, really do a great job at preserving some of these breeds that are threatened to go extinct. So, hello, Susan Sullivan. Thank you for joining me. First time on the live show. Great. Thanks for coming on over. Okay, so that is my topic for today, is the heritage livestock. All right, so updates I promised you guys. First one is I do apologize for the last couple of weeks. It's been kind of crazy. The reason being, my grandpa got out of the hospital. He got really, really sick. So helping him and helping him get situated back home, and then also, you know, him being in the hospital kind of took a toll. And you know, if you've ever had somebody that's been sick like that, you should know. So anyway, so he is home. He's doing well, and today I am able to be here with you guys. So, all right. Okay, so I've been helping my sister with her new baby, baby Lake. He is a doll. We've been getting everything kind of figured out, getting him on a schedule. I've been helping her out quite a bit, trying to make that happen. So anyway, he is a doll. I will try to get a picture for you guys, if my sister allows me to, and let you see the cutie. Oh, that's good, Dawn. She fixed whatever it was that was preventing you from being able to watch live streams. Well, that's good. You can join me today. So I've been helping her out with the baby. Let's see here. As of now, we have 2 heifers and 1 bull calf. We still have a cow that is holding out on me, but if she doesn't have her calf soon, she's gonna explode. I know she will. But anyway, so we got 1 more calf to be born, and then we're done with the calving, which is great. I am working on Christmas presents right now. I am making some hats, and then I will be making a king size quilt. And then I don't really have time to make a whole lot of presents this year, so I am making a few hats, and then the king size quilt, which I am working on. So anyway, that is what I've been up to. Now, I am going to apologize. I am running on fumes here this morning. I have not slept well the last couple nights. Saturday, let's see, no. Yeah, Saturday morning. It was a bad morning. I woke up, got up, went to go outside to do chores, and Jax was going crazy. There was something wrong, and I knew it. I knew something was wrong as soon as I seen him, and then I heard the most god-awful scream from one of my goats. It was horrible. It's been cold here, so there was a thin layer of ice, and she had fallen in through the ice, and as of right now, she's not doing well. We've done everything we can. I don't know how long she was in that cold water. She was there for a while. I'm assuming she was hypothermic, and we're doing everything the vet says, and we're doing everything that we can do. It's just up to her. This morning it was not looking very good at all. She's starting to show the classic signs of wanting to, excuse me guys, I'm sorry, of wanting to die. So, which is not good. but if you can kind of keep her in your prayers. It's Miss Freya. I don't know what caused her. She got spooked or something. What caused her to run out on that thin ice, but she did. And anyway, so it's not looking good. Hello, Rain. How are you? Thanks for dropping in. So anyway, that's kind of my sad news. At this point, I do not expect her to recover. And the only reason I can talk about it right now is because I can't cry anymore. So, and I'm exhausted. So anyway, all right, moving on. That's not what we're going to be talking about today. So moving on. The book for the week is sticking on topic. I have chosen this book. Let's see if I can get it up there for you. It is an introduction to heritage breeds, and it is by the Livestock Conservancy. And if you've never been over to their website, they have an awesome website that you can go to. They have breed highlights on all of the breeds that they are working with to try and preserve and to bring back. And they do some awesome work with local farmers and things like that. So this book is not, it's not going to go through and tell you about the breeds. That's not what this book is. But if you want to go through and look at some of the heritage breeds that are options and different things like that you may want on your homestead, I would suggest going to their website. In the back, they do have, you know, some of the breeds and just a quick little snippet about them. But this book mainly talks about when you have your heritage breed, what to expect, how to preserve the breed, some things that you're going to want to think about before you get into wanting to preserve a breed. If you just want to own the breed and not work on some of the preservation aspects of it, just owning the breed helps the breed. It really does. So, on topic, this is the book that I recommend if you're wanting to get into some heritage livestock. Now, there are a couple of other books. I don't remember what they're called right now, but this is my favorite one. So, anyway, check their website out. Let's see. I don't know if it's on here or not. Surely it is. Anyway, it's the Livestock Conservancy website. Let's see if it's in here real quick. I'm not seeing it, but anyway, they do awesome work over there. And anyway, so all right, so it is picture time. Picture time here, guys. All right, so there's if you guys missed it, that's the photo I had. I took that this morning. We had a beautiful frost out, and oh no, Susan, is it buffering too bad? I hope not. We had a beautiful frost. I took some pictures, and I will show them to you here. This is one just kind of looking over my pond. That's our weeping willow. And anyway, there's that one. Let's see here. All right, there's just a little weed I thought that was kind of cute. I thought that leaf was really pretty. I love taking pictures of frost. It's so gorgeous, I think. And this is a plantain. I thought it was really pretty. Hello, Mother of Many Horses. How are you? Thanks for stopping in today. Alright, so this is a, oh my, that's a different angle. um, this is a foxtail. It's a, well, we call them foxtails. That's not the official name for them. But anyway, that's what we call them anyway. It's just a type of grass. Okay, so I have pictures of the baby pigs. They are growing, and oh my goodness, are they ever cute? There they are. My favorite one, if you can see him, he's on the top of the pile there. He's got a little red circle around his eye. He's my favorite. He's the cutest one, I think, of all of the little piggies. And then I got another picture of them here. There they are. The little darlings. They are just cute. So, okay, and then I have got a picture of one of my salmon faverel roosters. Now, these roosters are exceptionally beautiful. And this is one of the heritage breeds that I have selected that I want to pursue helping. I have decided that this breed I am going to try and work with and breed and have a program started. So I've got some. Now I just need to bring in some diversified bloodlines and try and get a program started with these guys. I really love them. They're very docile birds. They're very active. They are exceptionally good at providing for themselves, honestly. And then here's a picture of some of the plumage from this rooster. Isn't that gorgeous plumage? I absolutely love the feathers on these birds, the roosters especially. They are gorgeous. They have a sheen to them, and they're just amazing. I love, love, love these birds. Oh my gosh, Susan, the little pigs are hilarious to watch. Oh, and the little noises they make are just adorable. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever heard a baby pig grunt, but it is it is the cutest little thing. And then when they get them little noses going in the dirt, oh, they're just adorable. They're addicting. They really are addicting. Yes, he is beautiful, all things good. That rooster is gorgeous. Okay, so let's see what else I got here. Oh, yes. This is the poor cow that is still pregnant. This poor darling, I think she's going to explode if she does not have this calf. It is, she waddles pretty bad. This is Miss Beulah, and as you can see, she just looks like she's over it and she's ready to have that calf. Susan, you're so funny. She says that rooster would be bald if I had him. Yes, it's very hard to not steal some of those beautiful, beautiful feathers. That's for sure. Okay, let's see what else I got here for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture of one of the hats that I'm making. This is a My Little Pony hat, and this is Rainbow Dash. And I am making this for, let's see, what is she? I guess she's my cousin's daughter, so I guess she would be my second cousin, I guess. Rain, that's funny. You have some pregnant photos with the same face. I do too. By the end, I was just like, I'm over this. Get this kid out of me. I'm not happy. So, so cute. Where did you get the pattern? I purchased the pattern off of Etsy, and I don't have that with me. I do apologize. I will try and put the link in the description box when we're done here. Dawn. I will try and do that. I got it off Etsy. All you got to do is look up My Little Pony hats, and it'll take you to it. So anyway, I have made as of now I have made this is Rainbow Dash, and I've made Fluttershy. I have made Rarity, and I have made Twilight Sparkle. Let's see. I have not made Pinkie Pie yet. And actually, the Pinkie Pie is the only one I've not made. I did make Applejack. I made Applejack too. So, anyway. Yes, Susan, the frillies take a while. There's about 5 hours worth of work in this hat. And 2 of those hours being the curls. Those take a long time. You can't see them in this picture, but the back of the hat, there's lots of curls back there too. So lots and lots of work goes into the actual hat part of it. Just found a tutorial on YouTube. Very good, Susan. The actual hat part of it takes me maybe 30 minutes. It's the extras that take a while to do. So there's about 5 hours worth of work in this hat. And if I had to take a guess right off the top of my head, I probably have maybe $11 or $12 in material in this hat. So, you know, I've had several people ask me if they could buy one from me, but I don't know. I'm not really into making things to sell just because, I don't know. I've always been kind of weird about that. I make things because I want to give them to people, and it makes me happy when they are happy. So I've never really been into making things like this to sell. So you got distracted by the male mother of many horses. Anyway, so there's that. And on Saturday, the same day that we had the goat fiasco, Cassidy got to ride in the Christmas parade for the Callaway Youth Expo because she was the princess this last year. And she was so excited. She got to ride in a horse-drawn carriage. This is her standing in front of the royalty sign. This is on the back of the carriage. All the royalty showed up. They all piled in there, and they had a great time. Caitlin got to ride in the barrel train in the parade, so both kids were in the parade. They enjoyed tossing out candy and different things like that. They had a great time. And then I got one more picture here for you, and that's Miss Cassidy with the horse. The horses. I believe she's standing with Bob, and I cannot remember what she said the other horse's name was, but these horses were gigantic. Oh my gosh, you would not want them to step on your toes, that is for sure. But anyway, yep, she had a great time. Sorry, I was reading one of the comments. Anyway, so that is she only has one more duty to fulfill as princess, and that is crowning next year's princess at the crowning ceremony. Now, they did bump her up in age division. She should have been going for Duchess this year, or last year, excuse me. So she ended up winning Princess, so now she has to wait till she's old enough to compete for the Queen contest. So that's a few years, so she's decided that she's going to instead just do the public speaking contest and try to do that. She either had a choice between the demonstration contest or the public speaking contest, so she's going to do public speaking. Caitlin will be going out for Duchess this year, so she is excited about that. She's a little nervous, But she does pretty good at speaking in front of people. For the most part, she's done pretty good so far. So anyway, there you guys have it. Those are the pictures I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed. And hopefully I'll have some pictures of snow. We did have about an inch of snow on Saturday. Or no, excuse me, on Sunday. I just about busted my rear end a couple times, sliding around in it. It was that wet, slick snow. Even walking on the grass, if there was a slope to that, you were gonna go down. That's how slick that stuff was, and it was a heavy snow too. So, anyway, let's see. Public speaking, brave girl. Dawn, yes, it's part of their 4-H experience. I was in 4-H, and it really does help you later on. It gives you a lot of great interview because they have to do an interview. And when they turn in their projects for the home arts division, they have to do an interview process with each item that they made, and they have to explain the processes. They have to explain the materials that they used. Just different things like that. So they have to go through an interview process, and that interview process is part of how they judge the thing that the kid made, and they get points. Oh, it's a point system. So you can't just make something and turn it in and be done with it. You actually have to sit and you have to talk about the process that you've gone through doing this, making things. Um, and it's kind of the same when you show the livestock as well. The judge will ask you several questions, but usually in the livestock judging part of it, they're judging the animal in the actual show, and then they also have the showmanship part of it, where they're actually judging how the child and the animal work together as a team, and how well that child presents that animal. So there's just different life skills that can be learned through 4-H. So sorry, I kind of like 4-H a lot, and it's a really great program for kids. So. Oh no, Dawn, that stinks. Mother of many horses. Um, I'm not ready for a lot of snow. The kids were driving me crazy, wanting to know when it was going to snow, because usually we have snow by now, and they had a little bit. They had enough to make, and it was a wet snow too, so they had enough on the ground to make those sleds go really fast. So I don't have to hear about that anymore. When is it going to snow? When is it going to snow? And they made a small snowman. I guess I should have taken a picture of that because he's kind of cute and he, leaned a little bit. So, um, anyway. Alrighty, so it is time to get on the topic that we are going to be covering today, and that is the heritage livestock breeds. Well, not breeds, but some of the heritage livestock, and some things that you may want to know, a few things that I kind of want to cover with you guys, and kind of their place as of right now on homesteads and things. So, in my opinion, the heritage breeds are exceptional. They give you the best variety and the best. They're just so easy and robust to take care of, and the genetic diversity that is allowed through these different breeds and the different lines through the different breeds is just tremendous. So I'm going to start by defining what a breed is. A breed is a group of animals that share a common link in history, original ancestors, and overall body type within within that work together to result in genetic uniformity. So a breed, you can have a certain species, but you will have certain breeds in that species. And those certain breeds will have certain characteristics that make that breed unique and individual. And not all breeds are going to suit certain climates, certain situations, certain homesteads. Just whatever you decide you want your homestead to be, there is a breed out there for you of the certain species that you want to choose. Now, the heritage livestock, they initially were bred to meet the needs of the local environments, markets, and purposes that the breeders needed them for. That's why they developed these breeds. I did a show a couple shows back talking about my rabbits. I am working on developing a pasture-based rabbit using some of the commercial breeds that we started with. I'm seeing a lot of progress. I'm 5 years into the breeding process, and I am nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm getting there. I have specific guidelines, and I keep records that I do, and it's a process, and I probably will be working on it for a very, very long time until I get to the point where I feel like there's enough of that line of rabbit that I'm working on to really truly call it a pasture-based rabbit. So, and that's what people did over the generations. They really did and put a lot of work into making it to where they didn't have to, they had to put as little input into that animal as possible, and the animal did most of the work for them. They foraged for their own food. They were able to construct their own nests. And the only reason I say that is because my grandfather, he was telling me a story the other day about some of the old sows that they used to have. It came up because our sow had her piglets. And he said, these sows nowadays wouldn't know how to take care of piglets the way we used to raise them. He said when the sows were about to farrow, we'd turn them out. The sow would go out in the woods or the pasture somewhere. She'd find her a nice secluded spot. He said it could be, 0 degrees in January with the snow blowing, and she would build a nest to take care of her little pigs. And then, a few weeks later, she'd come up to the barn with her little pigs in tow, and they'd know how many little pigs they had, and they'd ear notch them and let them do their own thing. They'd forage for their own food. So the heritage breeds really are able to make your life easier on your homestead. Some of the differences that you can see, one of the main ones with the cattle, you have Brahmas, and then there are these Scottish Highlands. If you take a Brahma cow, which is a heat-loving cow, and stick her in Alaska, she will not fare very well. She will die. She will not like it. Now, she may not die, but she will not perform to her best abilities. She just won't. She loves the heat, and Alaska is way too cold. You take a Scottish Highland cow and stick her down in Texas, or stick her down somewhere where it's hot and humid, she will not do very well. They like it cooler. So those two breeds are kind of an example of the climates, the different climates that cattle and different breeds are genetically predisposed to thrive in their own environments. Now, you've got with chickens, you have, 3 different kind of distinctions in those. And that is, you have your egg layers, you have your multi-purpose, and then you have your meat birds. The egg layers will lay an enormous amount of eggs, but they are not great if you want. You can eat them, but you're not going to get a lot of meat off of those chickens. You have your dual purpose, which they lay a decent amount of eggs, and they give you a decent table bird so that you can eat the roosters and not have to starve. And then you have your meat birds, which are the ones that just truly are for meat. They do not lay a lot of eggs. They're mainly, they're just for meat. If you tried to keep a meat bird for an egg layer, you wouldn't have a lot of eggs. And then another one, I guess there's another one you can kind of put in there, the ornamental chickens. Some people bred for the plumage, the beautiful feathers. I didn't have that down here, but I should have. So there's basically 4 different types. So the ornamentals, they don't lay very well. They're typically pretty flighty. They typically don't have a very meaty carcass, but they have beautiful, beautiful feathers. So anybody that's making jewelry, that would be something like a phoenix chicken would work really well for somebody that wants the feathers to make jewelry. So every breed has a purpose. Let's see. Yes, she. Nature knows how to take care of itself. That's for sure. Um, yes, mother of many horses. I like my dual-purpose birds too. That's my salmon favrels and my buff orpingtons. Those are my 2 favorites when it comes to dual-purpose birds. Sea Seashell Island, sorry. Grandpa is doing well. He's home and he's feeling a lot better. So, I don't know if he would like South Florida. He's pretty particular. He likes his normalcy. So, no snow for Christmas. Yeah. Uh, Grizz, hello. You're making an appearance. Oh. If you were already here, I didn't notice because I was rambling on. But anyway. Yes, the Plymouth Rocks do make decent layers and fryers. I do have Plymouth Rocks as well, and I do like them a lot. So, uh, do heritage breeds tend to have more breed-specific health issues than crossbred animals? Dawn, if you get your animals from um, a breeder that actually cares about the animals and a breeder that is very responsible breeder, you shouldn't have a lot of that going on. However, there are breeders out there that only are in it for the money. When a breed becomes popular, they get right into it and they just pump out the animals and don't care which animals go into the breeding system. So they have subpar animals entering the breeding system, which to me is a very sad thing because people have put a lot of time and effort into developing these breeds so that they may be hardy and that they may be able to take care of themselves. And then a breed becomes popular and it just erases years and years and years of work. So you really have to do your research and find a breeder that is a responsible breeder. And I think when most people think about what you just asked, dogs come to mind. A lot of dogs have been bred to the point of they've just either had the health bred out of them or the brains bred out of them and things like that. So, okay, so the genetic diversity. Let me get back to what I was talking about because I've only got 20 minutes left. So, with sheep, you have your hair sheep and you have your wool sheep. Both usually are very good for meat purposes. Some are better for the fleece that they're known for. You have the Barbados blackbelly sheep, which are a heritage breed. They are a hair sheep. And then you have the Jacob sheep, which a lot of people really like their fiber or their wool for making things. With the Herefords, or good grief, with the hogs, you have kind of two different varieties. You have the lard hogs, and you have the meat hogs, um, such as the American guinea hog or the Hereford hog, which is going to be more of your meat hog that's going to do well on pasture. Um, Freezing. Oh no. I hope it's not doing too bad for you guys. I'm sorry. It says it's doing decent here. So anyway, so with the heritage breeds, the reason they are heritage nowadays and not part of the mainstream production is because when markets change, breeds have to change with them, or they just fall out of favor. They aren't used anymore, and when they're not used widely, or they're not popular anymore, they become less and less used, and then they become very endangered. And that's part of the Livestock Conservancy's efforts, is to bring back some of those genetic diversities. Like the cattle industry has changed dramatically from just 30 years ago. Cattle, they wanted them fat. They wanted a lot of fat on their cattle originally. People used the tallow to cook with. Nowadays, people don't use tallow to cook with, so the industry has moved towards a more muscular and lean animal that has good marbling, because people just don't use the fat anymore. Same with hogs. A lot of the breeds you used to see were lard hogs. People used the fat to cook with. They used it to light their homes with. They had a lot of different uses for the animal fats. Nowadays, the hogs are longer, leaner, and more muscular. So a lot of times, so so why heritage breeds? Um, why heritage breeds? Like I said, they really do bring a diverse background. You can specify, you can get an animal that will really work well with your goals on your homestead. That animal, you can, choose from all these different breeds, um, like with the salmon faverels. I have several different breeds of chickens. I needed a chicken that would lay good in the wintertime. So I chose salmon faverels. Um, that is one reason. They are supposed to be good winter layers, and so far they have done a really good job. So um, anyway, um, sorry, I lost my place that I had here. Um, the industry and the most common um, aspects today really deal with animals that can handle confinement. They've been genetically bred to handle confinement. Heritage breeds are not like that. They need their space. They need their own individual space, or they do not thrive. And I have a passage out of this book that I wanted to read you that is out of the Heritage Breeds book that really kind of illustrates what I'm talking about right there. And this is talking about turkeys. So here we go. Turkeys provide a powerful example of the trajectory of agricultural development over the past century. Originally, all domestic turkeys were free range and kept in outdoor farm flocks where they foraged for food. Industrialization of their production led to humans selecting solely for meat production in a confined situation. Animals were provided all their feed rather than having to seek it out themselves, which meant calories were not burned, but instead used to create more meat at a faster rate. This change in environment allowed for even more selection based strictly on muscle mass, and the final result is the modern broad-breasted turkey, which is the one that you guys see in the grocery stores. Because of the massive size of their breasts, toms are no longer able to mount hens properly and so are unable to physically mate. In turn, breeders developed artificial insemination technology in order to propagate the modern turkey. This is a bird produced by industry, unable to rustle up its own lunch and dinner and not even able to reproduce naturally. The industrial broad-breast turkey in confinement situation is a master at meat production from provided needs. No heritage breed can match its production in that confinement environment, but the industrial bird flunks out in several natural production systems where turkeys must naturally reproduce, effectively seek out their own food, and live a long life thanks to sound muscles and skeleton. So that's a little taste of what that book will do for you if you read it. That also covers kind of the Cornish cross that they've developed for mass production. As far as, you know, feeding the masses. I believe that we could feed the masses without jeopardizing kind of values and the way animals are treated in those situations. I really despise factory farms on every level of my being. So, so that's one of those ways where heritage breeds kind of have fallen out of favor because they cannot compete with these hybrids and these genetically bred animals like that. Grizz, behave. Behave. Let's see, hang on. I think there was a question. Mother of Many Horses. The Christmas present, the making of Christmas presents starts in like June. I start the process, so it takes a while. Mother of Many Horses. I don't know if it's possible for Grizz to behave, but he can certainly give it a try. It's supposed to be family friendly. So, oh goodness. Anyway, so, all right. Where was I at? Another thing that they've done also with the egg layers, they've done that with the Leghorns and the Rhode Island Reds as well. They have taken that breed, and you can find some of the original livestock of the Leghorns and the Rhode Island Reds. A true Rhode Island Red hen should be so red she's almost black. That is a quote from Talking Chicken, written by Kelly Colbier. And I have seen the difference in a true heritage Rhode Island Red hen and a production hen. The difference is night and day. They've taken that line. They're really almost an entirely different breed of their own. That line, that the production line, the industrial line, as opposed to the heritage line that they've taken and just ran with it. There's really no comparison between the two anymore. Let's see here. Okay. So a couple of the different things that I wanted to touch on some of the, I wanted to list a few of the heritage breeds. let's see, for chickens, if you want high egg production, you're going to want to go with your Leghorns and your Rhode Island Reds. Those are going to be your higher um, egg production heritage breeds. Yes, there are some that are not heritage breeds, but we're talking about heritage breeds today. So I'm going to stick with that. For your dual purpose, Orpingtons, Plymouth Rocks, Faverells, Buckeyes, those are all really good dual purpose birds. For meat, you've got your Cornish. Now, I'm not talking about Cornish cross. Cornish, they are a breed. That is where the Cornish cross came from. They came from the Cornish and the White Rock cross. That's where the Cornish cross came from. So Cornish, your Russian Orloffs, and your Jersey Giants are good meat birds. With your cattle, if you're wanting to get into a grass-based system, you're really going to want to look into your Scottish Highlands, your Murray Greys. Murray Greys are excellent at converting grass to meat. They're very fine-boned cattle. So your meat to bone ratio is really great with the Murray Greys. They are known for having a very wide mouth, so they can intake more feed or more grass, at a time, and really be very proficient grazers. You've got your South Poles, and then you've got, your belted Galloways. They're also a very good grass conversion cattle. If you want cattle that are still kind of fit in the heritage breeds that you can feed, put them into the graining system, your Herefords and your Angus are going to go well. They're going to be good for that purpose. Now, all cattle, you can put them on grain and they'll do fine. But if you're wanting something that's really going to take care of itself and be able to graze and have very little input as far as you having to do more work, some of those breeds are really going to work really well for you. So, okay, Susan, thanks for stopping in. Okay, so pigs. There's a lot of breeds that are going to work really well on pasture for you. Those pigs are going to be, well, all of your heritage breeds are going to work well on pasture, but the two differences that I'm going to talk about are the pastured pigs, which will give you your meat, and then also your lard pigs, your lard hogs. Your pigs that are going to be really well for meat are going to be your Herefords, your Mulefoots, your Red Wattles, your Tamworths. They're going to do really well in a pasture-based system and give you a lot of meat for a very little input. So, oh, very cool. All things good. You have the game chickens. Are they the Old English game chickens? Is that what you have? I know that sometimes they can, some of their temperaments are not great, but I've never been around. I haven't been around a lot of the ornamental chickens. Most of the people that I've been around are into the more dual purpose birds. Oh, bye, Mother of Many Horses. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Okay, so your lard hogs are going to be your American Guinea hogs, your Gloucester Old Spots, your Ossabaw Island pigs, your Choctaws, your large blacks. Let's see, Mulefoots even would probably fit into that category. Mulefoots I know are a little harder to come by. They're pretty rare. Um, um, anyway, sorry, I was reading some comments. Okay. let's see, where was I at? Okay, so some of the troubles you're going to run into with getting into heritage breeds. A lot of them are rare. The more rare they are, the harder they are to find, the harder they are to find good stock to get into if you're wanting to really help a breed and bring it back. So being kind of on the rare side, it's gonna cost you some money to get the um, into the game, as it were, into the breeding aspect of it to get the nice breeding stock. So um, let's see. Yeah, they can be expensive to get into. You want to make sure you have all your infrastructure before you get all of your animals. There is a lot of record keeping. If you decide that you want to take a heritage breed and work with it, there's a lot of record keeping that goes into it because you want to make sure that you're doing that breed a service. You're making it to where that breed is going to thrive for generations. Because when you're breeding an animal, your sole goal should be to improve upon the genetics of the generation before. So every time you breed, the animal that you breed should be better than the generation before it. Let's see here. Some advantages of having them. You can use that in a niche market. You can use that in your advertising. You can really play that to your advantage that you have this breed that you're working with and trying to preserve, and people usually will like that, and you can use that to your advantage whenever you're wanting to market some of the products that you're going to get from these animals. You need to have a plan. Make sure that your plan is detailed enough where you know where you're going so that you don't kind of get lost along the way. When your chickens are not laying in the winter, what do you think about just feeding them scratch? You can. It wouldn't hurt them. You want to make sure that you have some kind of minerals that they can have. When one is too... Yes, all things good. That happens here too. If a rooster decides it wants to get mean, they land in the crock pot. I don't put up with mean roosters. Oh, Susan, you're wet and cold now. That stinks. But your bunnies thank you for being a good owner and going out in the rainstorm to check on them. All right, I'm almost done, guys. Let's see. So you do when you get into something like this, when you breed for genetic diversity and things, you want to know what you're going to do with the animals that you cull, because culling is one way to ensure that the genetics of these animals is going to stay strong. Not every animal is going to be good enough to be a breeding stock animal, and the animals that are not are called cull animals. They will be for consumption. And that is where you can take it into your marketing and really help that breed out by bringing awareness to that breed, first of all, and things like that. So anyway, I lost my train of thought, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so exhausted. I'm going to take a nap later on, which is a rarity for me. Or I hope I can take a nap later on. We'll see. And one last thing is, if you get into breeding some of these heritage livestocks, don't go to one extreme. Don't breed for one extreme or the other. Try to find a common ground and breed for that. One thing that I have noticed in some of the goats especially, you take the boar goats, for example. This is just an example. I know they're not a heritage breed, but you can get some of them, those of that breed, that are just tanks. They have the biggest shoulders and some of the biggest loins you've ever seen. But you take that doe and that buck that are extremes, and you try to mate them, and that doe cannot have that kid because that kid's shoulders will not pass through the birth canal. You know, you really create problems for yourself when you try to breed for extremes. And there's certain ways to go ahead and breed animals, and that is a topic for another video, and I think that that will be the next topic that I cover, is what you want to look for when you're breeding certain animals. If you guys think that that would be something that would be of interest, line breeding, just different things like that, I can cover that. Okay, so it is now 12:01 and my time is up, but before I go, please go over to the Homestead Network and check that out, thehomesteadnetwork.com, and check that out. All the show times, they have all the show times. All of the channels have a my brain's not functioning, sorry guys, where they talk about their channels. And so tonight, Eastern Standard Time, from 8 to 9, you have Freedom Acres, and from 9 to 10, you have Big Bear Homestead with Robin. She will be doing her essential oils class. And then I wanted to just let you know, there are some daytime shows coming up this week. If you can stop by and say hi to them. Every day there is Homesteading Faith with Brad over at Big Family Homestead. He does a really great job with that, so go ahead and stop by that. It is, I think he's on from 10:30 to 11, I believe. Why I didn't write down the time, I have absolutely no idea. Wednesdays from 9 to 10 is Go for Green Living, and Fridays from 11 to 12 is Arms Family Homestead. So those are some of the daytime shows that you can catch as well. Thank you, T. Teresa. I have to go check on my goats. It's gonna be not a fun time for that today, but I did do a video on Saturday of I don't know if I'm gonna post it or not because I was rather upset, and I don't really know how well it will be received. My attempt was to kind of show everybody that homesteading can be heartbreaking sometimes, and I do apologize about that. Homesteading can be heartbreaking sometimes, and that's just one of those times where it's true. And anyway, I don't know. I may go ahead and do that. I may not. So anyway, thank you, Susan, for that. Okay. Is there any more questions before I head out? All right, doesn't look like there is going to be any, so I will let you guys go, and I will see you next week. You guys have a good day.